The Boston Celtics have been without a doubt one of the teams that people would rate as winners of the offseason. A team whose GM Brad Stevens, once again, has been able to find gems in a market that has allowed them to strengthen the roster. But the truth is that, although this is probably the best team the Celtics have had since the Big Four won the ring in 2008, they may also have some weaknesses that can hurt them. Stevens entered the offseason with the idea of improving some positions on the roster and looking for an immediate replacement for Malcolm Brogdon, who seems to have lost much of his market value as an injury-prone player. And also with the idea of getting a quality interior replacement that could allow Al Horford to come off the bench due to his advanced age. And the truth is that Stevens achieved both objectives. He has never won Defensive Player of the Year, and he most likely won't win one in the twilight of his career. But while he may not be the media's favorite, he is the player's favorite. If you ask any perimeter player in the league who the best defender in the NBA is, they're all going to answer Jrue Holiday. The two-time All-Star point guard has been a vital part of the Milwaukee Bucks' success during his successful tenure in Wisconsin, and his arrival in Boston will serve to complement a team in which he will fill the role of playmaker. Holiday is not only capable of scoring regularly, but he will also be the Celtics' best ball handler. But Holiday, as mentioned, has not been the Celtics' only offseason reinforcement. Kristaps Porzingis will wear green next season after having the best season of his career, in which he averaged 23.2 points, 8.4 rebounds, 2.7 assists, and 1.5 blocks in 65 games for the Wizards after being part of the three-way trade that sent Marcus Smart to the Memphis Grizzlies. A great presence in the paint and can also stretch the floor on offense. He has shown enough scoring ability that defenses have to focus on him. He is also a perfect replacement for Al Horford, who is already 37 years old and has shown some signs that his athleticism is no longer as good, but who nonetheless remains an elite defensive player who is capable of shooting from long range. Porzingis is made even more important by the fact that the Celtics also traded power forward Grant Williams to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for draft compensation. Some rumors suggest that coach Joe Mazzulla could include both Horford and Porzingis in the starting lineup, but it seems more logical to start Porzingis at center with the Dominican Republic native coming off the bench. In that case, Jason Tatum would be in charge of the starting power forward position, a player who has already proven to be among the league's elite and who last season averaged 30 points per game with good efficiency. Tatum is probably the biggest MVP candidate among all the players who have not won it yet, and we would expect him to take another step forward in terms of prominence this season. At the small forward position, we will find Jaylen Brown, a player who has just signed the highest contract in the history of the league, in which he will pocket $300 million for the next 5 seasons. And that has been thanks to his great season in which he has averaged 26.6 points, 6.9 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game, becoming a second offensive reference that is able to lead in specific moments of the game, besides being a very solid player defensively. There have been many trade rumors surrounding him over the past few seasons, with the Celtics supposedly getting a second superstar to pair with Jason Tatum. But the step forward he has taken, coupled with his youth, looks like it will allow him to remain with the Massachusetts franchise for the next stage of his career. And if the starting 5 configuration is as stated above with Tatum at power forward, the 5th starter will be Derek White. The shooting guard has shown great progress on both ends of the court, being able to shoot more efficiently from the three-point line than at any point in his career, and having become one of the best perimeter defenders in the entire NBA. The backcourt pairing he will form with Holiday will undoubtedly be one of the best defensive combos in recent league history, and will cause nightmares for every team's guard rotation in head-to-head matchups. But looking further ahead, the entire starting 5 for the Green team will be elite on defense. Holiday, White, Jaylen, Jason, and Porzingis sound like a defensive configuration that could become the best in the league if Mazzulla can sort out the pieces and create a cohesive system. However, it's the depth of the rotation that could cause the Celtics problems in the medium term. Granted, either Al Horford or Derek White will have to start as sixth men, but the Celtics won't have many quality pieces off the bench. In the event of an injury, especially to injury-prone players like Kristaps Porzingis, the team could be severely impacted. The Celtics have been trying to get a backup center beyond Horford, who may even play power forward minutes, and that's why they have signed Wenyen Gabriel, who performed well last season as part of the Los Angeles Lakers rotation. A player somewhat undersized, but who can fulfill the position thanks to his energy on the court, and who will have to fight for the position with Luke Kornet. The 7-2 center was already part of the rotation last season, but was not able to offer alternatives to the team in the moments of truth. He did, however, patent a new style of defense that I, at least, had never seen before. One important piece that Mazzulla is sure to increase the responsibilities of is Sam Hauser. The 6'8" wing has already completed 2 seasons with the franchise, and over the past year, finally moved into the rotation. An excellent shooter who averaged 42% on three-pointers on 4.2 attempts per game, and is actually one of the few wings who has previous experience being part of the team's rotation. His direct competition will be Svi Mikhailiuk, the Ukrainian who played a good stretch of games with the Charlotte Hornets during the end of last season. He averaged 10.6 points and 2.7 assists in just 22 minutes, with an excellent 40% on three-pointers. At the bench guard positions, the Celtics could have some problems as well. Peyton Pritchard and Delano Banton should be the players capable of getting minutes in this shortened rotation, and in neither case were they able to get minutes on a regular basis last season. Pritchard showed potential during his rookie season, displaying outside shooting consistency and great athleticism. However, his efficiency dropped in each of the next 2 seasons, losing minutes in his head coach's plans progressively. And in the case of Banton, the player only managed to play 279 minutes last season with the Raptors, after being part of the rotation during the previous season, but did not achieve a desirable level of efficiency. One player who could be a surprise in Boston this season is Lamar Stevens. The tweener is a great defensive specialist who enjoyed consistent minutes last season with a good Cleveland Cavaliers team, and after being traded and cut by the San Antonio Spurs, he recently signed a tryout contract with the Boston Celtics. A player that, if he can make a place in the team, can have an occasional importance in some matchups in a similar style to Stanley Johnson. Brad Stevens has made a gamble on players who, on paper, should be one of the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference, along with the Milwaukee Bucks. But it is also true that these trades have a fairly significant degree of risk. The fact of giving up more or less of the bench to strengthen the starting 5 can not only mean that there are problems in case of injuries, but also that teams with stronger rotations can take advantage of those minutes to make the difference. But in return, the reward for trying is glory for the first time since 2008.